Have you ever wondered what the heck an AI hallucination is? I am Felix.
And I am Ruby.
And today we are about to de-jargonize AI hallucination.
That's a term you hear a lot. It sounds a bit strange when talking about technology. What exactly is an AI hallucination?
In the context of AI, a hallucination is when a language model produces an answer that sounds confident and coherent, but is actually factually wrong or completely made up.
So it's not just a small error. It can be entirely fabricated information?
Exactly. This could be anything from a fake citation in a research paper, an invented quote, or a wrong date for a historical event.
That's concerning. Are there other examples?
Certainly, it could also be a non-existent function in a piece of code, or even a plausible-sounding biography of a real person that contains false details.
I see. The AI is essentially filling in gaps with incorrect information. There's a great analogy I've heard that really clarifies this.
In general, the tone should be thinking of the confident tour guide.
That's the one. Could you explain it for our listeners?
Of course. Imagine a tour guide who has read a lot about a city, but has never actually walked its streets. When a tourist asks about a small side alley, the guide doesn't say, "I don't know."
Instead, they just make something up?
Precisely. They smoothly construct an answer that fits the pattern of everything else they know about the city. Sometimes they might be right by chance, but other times the alley they describe doesn't even exist. The key is their voice stays equally confident either way.
That's a powerful analogy. It makes you wonder what's happening under the hood. Why does the AI behave like that confident but sometimes incorrect guide?
In general, the tone comes down to the fundamental way these language models work. Their primary function is to generate text by predicting the next most likely word based on everything that came before it.
So it's all about probability and patterns, not facts?
Exactly. The model is optimizing for what sounds plausible, not for what is true. Critically, it has no internal fact checker and no built-in sense of certainty.
That's a crucial distinction. It can't tell the difference between something it learned reliably and something it's essentially improvising on the spot.
That's right. And this leads to a common misconception that people have about hallucinations. Many people assume that hallucinations are just bugs that engineers will eventually patch and fix, like any other software glitch.
But it's not that simple, is it?
No, the reality is quite different. Hallucination is a direct consequence of how these models are designed. A model that never hallucinated would also be unable to generalize or write fluently about anything new.
So it's an inherent trade-off. Are there certain situations that make these hallucinations more likely to occur?
Yes, definitely. They are more likely when a question is about rare facts or very recent events that were not in the model's training data. They also struggle with specific numbers and names or topics where the training data was thin or even contradictory.
So, given that these hallucinations are an inherent part of how these models work, what are the real-world implications? This sounds like a major hurdle.
It absolutely is. In fact, hallucinations are the central reason why AI output cannot yet be trusted without supervision in high-stakes fields.
You mean areas like law, medicine, or journalism?
Exactly. In those domains, a plausible-sounding but factually incorrect piece of information can have very serious consequences.
That makes sense. So how do companies and professionals using this technology manage that risk?
In general, the current standard practice is what's called a human-in-the-loop review. For any serious deployment of generative AI, there's a verification workflow where a human expert checks the output for accuracy.
So we can't just let it run unsupervised. A person always needs to be the final judge of the information's validity.
Precisely. This goes back to the idea we discussed earlier, that hallucinations aren't a simple bug to be fixed. The goal isn't to achieve zero hallucinations, which might not even be possible without crippling the model's other abilities.
So the focus is on management rather than complete elimination.
That's the right way to think about it. The industry is focused on lowering the rates of hallucination, improving detection methods, and, very importantly, building systems that show their sources.
Citing sources seems like a critical step. It allows the human reviewer to quickly verify the information against the original material.
Exactly. It makes that human-in-the-loop process much more efficient and reliable. It's all about creating a system of checks and balances to harness the power of AI safely.
That brings us to the end of the episode. If you think we helped you de-jargonize the term, make sure to subscribe and follow us wherever you get your podcasts.
See you on the next episode.